Got a super chat coming in here from Mello, number 7. Appreciate you being here. Could Ryan Day be using Caleb Downs on offense as proof of concept to help recruit Dorian Brew? I know Texas told him that he could play both ways.
Lots of things are said during your recruitment. I mean, I don't really think that Ohio State could say the same thing too. Ohio State had to sit there and tell Zeke Elliott that he was the only running back in the class and that Dontre Wilson was going to be an athlete, and had to tell Dontre Wilson that he was going to be a running back. Lots of things are said during recruitment. So I don't know if you force something out there for like the long game. You play Downs on offense a little bit if you feel that he is giving you the best opportunity to win, if that is the best for the team, the best for Caleb Downs and everything else, and then you kind of just go from there. Because if not, it's like, well, then why don't you, go out and do this or do that, because you're trying to recruit out for the future. When it comes to Dorian Brew, if we're, it's not going to change the fact that his mom ran track at Ohio State. It's not going to change the fact that he grew up in Ohio. Now that he happens to be in Conroe, Texas, Texas can tell him whatever. I don't think that you go and you try and put a square peg in a round hole just to try and recruit down the line. I mean, because you sit there and you put him on offense and he gets stymied there. And when you're a defensive back, you need to have a short memory, but you also have to be running on the highest degree of confidence. And everything you're doing needs to excel. And if you get out there and you're just middling on offense, I think that that's counterproductive.
Yeah, I would agree with Kevin that a lot is said during the recruiting process, and some of it comes to fruition. Some of it, is sometimes it just doesn't work out. And Downs, to me, could be fabulous with the ball in his hands, but you've got so many other people that you've got at these positions that it's kind of hard to work somebody in as a part-time player on that side of the ball. I mean, it's just such a difficult thing to do. Brew, to me, at this point, don't they have 2 corners already in this class? And wouldn't he be the 3rd corner in the class? Am I correct on that?
3 corners, because Blake Woodby's a corner. Brew could be looked at as a safety.
Okay. Well, I know he's a great player, so get him in the fold and then let the positions kind of shake out as they go along. I'm not trying to diminish the idea that they don't need Brew, because I think you can't have enough great players who can play, and you never know what the future holds in terms of injuries and depth and all those other things. But at any rate, again, if Ohio State's the right fit for Dorian Brew, that's where he'll be. If it's not the right fit for Dorian Brew, then he'll be elsewhere, and they'll just go get the next name offered, or whoever else they have to go get to fill their needs. They are recruiting at a level right now that is just nothing short of fantastic, and that's the probably the biggest development in my mind, is that they're not resting on their laurels one bit. They are out there beating the bushes as hard as anybody in the country, backed by some NIL might, it seems. And they're knocking them dead right now in terms of recruiting. Got a great offensive lineman that we talked about last week. Carter, what's the last name?
Lowe.
I was going to say Rowe. I'm getting dyslexic in my old age or something, but Carter Lowe from Toledo Whitmer, national top 50, 60 player, whatever he is. So to me, just stay with the ground game is kind of my feeling. You don't have to make outlandish promises or, do crazy, goofy things to get players that want to come play at Ohio State. To me, it's what you're selling is the big thing.
Yeah, and I think with Texas and Dorian Brew, they don't have to promise him that you can play both ways. They could say, hey, you could play cornerback because we don't have any committed in 2025. If you commit to Ohio State, you're going to be their fourth corner in the class. And they're already looking at you as a safety. And you push that entire story on them. It's like, they don't think you can play corner. We do. And we, that's where we want you. That's what we see you as. We see you as a future top 5 pick at corner. Show me the last top 5 pick at safety. And then you just put that stuff into the ether and see how it goes. And then also, hey, and we'll throw you the ball here or there. I do think it would be interesting to bring in Caleb Downs on offense just to be a decoy as like a screen person. And the defense has to look at him and focus on him, and maybe you get something off of that. But I don't know that you need to get him involved in the offense when he's so important to the defense.
Texas's recruiting ploy is, let's just put on the defensive tape and say, we need players. We need players. Did you see us on defense this year? So yeah, that's their recruiting ploy.
And hopefully at some point, these young men value being told the truth and having somebody level with them and say, hey, this is what we believe is best for us and also best for you. And this is what we believe is the plan. And this is what we're going to do.
Lie to me and pay me.
Yeah. Well, there's that too. Well, pretty much everything we've covered was pretty much nuts and bolts in regards to, okay, there's an opening here. What do they do with it? They got a quarterback situation. What do they do about X, Y, and Z? And that has a systematic approach to it or a numbers game. One of the themes of yesterday's news conference had to do with something that's tough to get a handle on. And it's that there are these enormous expectations, but you're not playing Michigan tomorrow. You're not going to play a playoff game tomorrow. You got to keep just taking your cuts in the cage every day because, it's months away before it's going to count. And you got to watch, the next piece of film. You got to take the next rep on the squat rack. You have to do all those things that build toward that. But at the same time, there's enormous pressure, of which, of course, Ryan Day threw out the CJ Stroud statement about that's a privilege to have that kind of pressure. And Ryan Day seems to deflect the focus on this season and makes it more about, well, this is the job every season. This season is no different.